Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Next questioner is Mr. Gabriel Medkin. He is a member of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church in London.
Right.
Your Holiness, greetings to you. My question, which my colleague has taken away, is this. How do we explain the physical nature of God, if it can be described this way? As in my understanding, everything spiritual must take on a physical manifestation for man to comprehend and to relate to it. And adding on to that, how does the Messiah within Islam play a part in that?
I understand the question.
Thank you very much.
And the difficulties you are confronting. First of all, I don't believe in physical manifestation of God at all. I reject this idea as one of the darkest ideas against God. You see, God is described in the Holy Quran to be the light behind everything, but the light we see is not God. He's far too refined to be visible even through instruments. And the rarer a thing becomes, its existence cannot be challenged. In fact, it becomes more powerful in many ways. The light which we see in the visible spectrum of light is less powerful than the light we cannot see. The ultraviolet rays at the shortest wavelength are so powerful that they can destroy every form of life on earth. If God had not taken measures against it striking the earth's surface, after the development of the life we know as covered under zoology, nothing could be left alive here on earth. That is, the life would not have taken a start. But that is invisible. So to demand visibility of a thing for the sake of belief is just a childish attitude. God is a power behind, and a power which we cannot describe because we do not share those basic qualities of the form of God's existence. We only can judge Him from His creation and the wonders we find in all that He has created. We can judge Him only through logic. The logic which we read in the creation, everywhere, in the laws of nature, in their interdependence, in their unity. There is no contradiction in nature. There is no evidence of 2 or 3 gods jointly doing something or separately doing something. So this is God. If He displays Himself in the form of a living being, human being, then all the faith in God will be absolutely exploded, and the doubts will begin to be born from then on. Because that physical being could be an imposter. How would you know that that is God? If it doesn't suffer like us, then it is not a physical being. If it suffers like us, then how is He God? Does He teach us how to worship God? Will He turn all over Himself to worship Himself? Will He prostrate before a mirror? All these ideas are so unacceptable, so, inimical to human common sense, that one has to reject them outright as feasible at all in any sense of the word. Now, coming to Jesus Christ, for instance, we believe Him to be a true prophet of Allah, of a great status. But if what St. Paul told you, Jesus was a man, a part of Trinity, then things begin to go awry in every direction and in every sense. The point is, if God must have manifested himself in human form for him to be believed, why did he not do it to Abraham? Why did he not do it to Moses? Why not to all the early prophets? Why did he not manifest himself to China or other continents of the world? Why not Africa? And again, when he manifested, if he did, in the form of Lord Krishna of India, then his message was so contradictory to the message given by his manifestation in the Middle East. So coming to such manifestations or claimed manifestations, they are at odds with each other everywhere in the world, that becomes impossible for man to believe in such manifestations. Because if one is right, the other has to be wrong. And such manifestations continue to appear. Like some Babaji from India went to America and gained a large following there and decamped with millions of dollars until he was confronted with the law enforcing agencies and was shattered to pieces and so on and so forth. But new Krishnas appear in Bengal, in India, everywhere in the world. Here people, with this chimta, kya kehte hain usko? The fork, they're playing the fork like this. Huh? Yes. And yet, you look at them and you poo-poo them as it's just sheer nonsense, and they die out naturally anyway. They're just cults. So the idea is rampant with danger. This idea must be rejected, must not even come close to your threshold. Because once you accept it, the whole world of religious will go to pieces, will be shattered to pieces. There will be no meaning left to faith. And when God would eat, because he is a human manifestation, when he will suffer, when he will sleep, what messages would he deliver? And what would happen to the rest of the universe? Will he be concentrated in one form and the rest of the universe will be emptied of God? This is something which the Holy Quran declares to be absolutely impossible. Because everything is sustained by the presence of God, which is everywhere. The moment a space is emptied of God, that space becomes nothing. Nothing lives by himself or itself. So think of these things and then you will come to agree with me that this idea is a thing not of the advanced age of man's thinking. It is a thing of stone ages of man. When man was beginning to become religious, then he needed these visible symbols for him. All these symbols were invented by man when he was not yet wise enough or experienced enough or advanced in knowledge enough to realize an existence which was not visible. So you are dragging this advanced world back to the Stone Ages when you say there has to be a living symbol. See? Think of these things and then pray to God. Okay?